In 1785, in the town of Moulton, Northamptonshire, England, a 24-year-old Baptist pastor named William Carey was working as a schoolteacher and a shoemaker. William was a studious young man who had taught himself several languages, including Greek, Hebrew, Italian, Dutch, and French. He began learning to make shoes when he went to work as a cobbler's apprentice at 14 years of age. And now, at 24, the trade was helping him support his wife and children. As he worked in his shoemaker's shop, a map of the world, which he had made, hung on the wall as a silent witness, constantly reminding him of a world of lost souls who needed to hear the gospel. William loved books, and often he would read while he worked making shoes. Lately, he'd been reading the diary of David Brainerd, who earlier in the century was a missionary to the Indians in the American colonies. He had also read the journal of the explorations of the British Captain James Cook, which introduced him to many new locations and peoples around the world. Before that, he had read a book by Andrew Fuller titled The Gospel Worthy of All Acceptation. The impact of these books, combined with the overshadowing world map, instilled in William Carey an ever-intensifying desire to reach the lost. In his day, the idea of a man leaving his homeland to take the gospel to a foreign land was practically unheard of. There'd been no organized, wide-scale foreign missions effort in many years. So for William Carey to pursue the burden that was growing within him, it would take much more than surrendering to the mission field and joining up with a local mission board. For him to impact the lost world as he envisioned meant that someone had to first change the thinking of Christians, to create in them a burden for the lost world. In 1786, William attended a meeting of pastors, where the moderator opened the floor to anyone who cared to introduce an important topic for discussion. William sat and listened to men confer about various matters, and as he did, his burden for the lost world burned inside of him. Finally, he stood to his feet and asked the men in the room, "Gentlemen, is it not the duty of all Christians to spread the gospel throughout the world?" He was quickly rebuked by the moderator.
"Young man, sit down. When God pleases to convert the heathen, he will do it without your aid or mine."
But that man's rebuke didn't quench the fire that blazed in William Carey's heart. He went back to work as a schoolmaster, a shoemaker, and a Baptist pastor, pondering and praying about what could be done, what must be done, to take the gospel to the world. In 1792, 6 years after that pastors' meeting, 31-year-old William Carey published a small book that presented his great burden for missions. The book was titled An Inquiry into the Obligations of Christians to Use Means for the Conversion of the Heathens. The book laid out the Christian's responsibility to take the gospel to the lost world based on the Great Commission in Matthew 28, 18 through 20. On May 30th, 1792, William Carey preached at the Friar Lane Baptist Church in Nottingham a sermon known as the Deathless Sermon from Isaiah 54, verses 2 and 3, which reads, "Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left. And thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited." His sermon was an appeal to Baptist pastors to support the world missions effort. At first, it seemed like the sermon had little impact, but ultimately, it led to the formation in 1792 of the Particular Baptist Society for Propagating the Gospel to the Heathen, which later became the Baptist Missionary Society. The Deathless Sermon had 2 points. Point 1, expect great things from God. And point 2, attempt great things for God. These 2 points combined have become the quote that best identifies the life and ministry of William Carey. William Carey and his family arrived in Calcutta, India in November of 1793. Their work for the Lord included many challenges and heartaches. William wanted to be self-supporting, so for his first 6 years as a missionary, he worked as the manager of a factory, while he learned the language, preached the gospel, translated the New Testament, trained national pastors, and organized his missionary team. His family struggled to adjust to their new surroundings. His son Peter died of dysentery. His wife Dorothy had a mental breakdown. and she died in 1807. William Carey served the Lord for over 40 years in India until he died in 1834 at 72 years of age. He spent his life getting involved in many different aspects of the everyday life of the people of India. He started Sunday schools, using the Bible to teach children to read. He printed the Bible in over 40 different languages and dialects. He established the first public schools in India, translated and published textbooks, and taught in their universities, all while winning souls, baptizing, and discipling. William Carey is known as the father of modern missions, because through his persistence, he launched the world's missions movement that still thrives today. Christian, expect great things from God. Attempt great things for God. Stay the course.